Good evening. I wanted you to see the stool that I sit on and the little stool that I use. I personally find this comfortable to put my left foot up a little higher. It's really important in my estimation that where I put my foot on that black stool, and now I'm going to move it higher, so hopefully you can see my left hand this time, but unfortunately you won't see that my left foot is on that black stool. And what I hope is that you'll actually be able to see my left hand when I make this video, because unfortunately I made a video and I'm learning each time about things that I include or don't include. I sit and I have just a little bit of a bend in my knee. I don't know what angle it is. It's certainly not straight, and maybe I'll try to make a picture of where I am to the mirror, move the whole thing over. We are not symmetrical. The instrument isn't symmetrical on our bodies, but we want a certain symmetry in how I feel some weight on my left foot, I feel some weight on my right foot. I feel we have two sit bones on the bottom of the pelvis that we can rock forward and back. I can rock from side to side. I don't want to be just stuck on one leg more than the other. That can vary in different philosophies. What I've noticed is if I put weight on one foot more than another, it'll put tension on my back and I won't be as even. Now, they're not doing the same thing in terms of what the left hand does and what the bow does, but they are both delivering energy to the instrument from my first arm joint. So as I do this, it seems odd. I am actually kind of mirroring what I'm doing in the bow with my that has a little energy. In some bassists, since I lean on the first string, because I am a cellist bassist, but that's what I like about the staccato stroke. And then I can eventually connect the dots better. For a heavier sound, I remember asking Edgar Meyer about this, because he talked about he will put his thumb in this curve of the bow, because if it's a heavier sound, it just helps him to kind of get all of this a little more compact, but it doesn't have to lock. So as I do that down bow staccato, here I am, yes, I'm getting more energy to the instrument, and it has to change as I go back to the frog and can be more swingy. Out here, I have to kind of get myself on top to send the energy. But what happens to cellists and basses is it gets hiked up and it never comes down. The instrument's really high with the trajectory of the cello to the floor, and you can see cellists that almost have their arms high all the time. I like to have that feeling of moving almost like Tai Chi cello or Tai Chi bass. Either place, I can put it comfortably, and I can make the adjustment pretty quickly from thumb in that deeper curve to thumb in that curve by the frog and the stick. That's very much, there's a Hyde music video from quite some time ago where I discuss how people are a little distressed about the bow. But see the down bow energy, the up bow energy, down bow energy, up bow energy. That's sometimes an interesting thing to do, bring your other hand over. So yes, it's a D, an octave lower D than this D. It gives me some really neat options when I'm playing. I can be on this in the key of D as a final note, or if I'm in the key of A. Just remember it's an octave lower tuning. It also allows me, if I'm in the key of E flat, to do some really nice things, like if I'm, ending on on an E flat here. Sol, mi, sol, fa, mi. I know my movable do solfege. I like that. Ooh, that feels better balanced across my body. I don't want to take energy to not feel that. It takes energy to shut out awareness. And then sol, mi, sol, fa, mi, re, do. I can imagine where I'm playing those notes. That in my imagination and reality were not the same. See, they hang. They want to come into my body. I think it is really important I think that E flat, that first one, was kind of fishy. Now that would be coming this way to the instrument, or I might lean forward. All kinds of different leaning things I can do, but to pay attention to, does it feel balanced? And I'm going to keep adjusting. I'm going to make changes. If there's some discovery I have, I hope to come back and let you know about it. But so sometimes it'll be like F, F, E flat, D, E flat. The odd thing about the tuning here is you'll have do, sol, sol, do. It'll be a perfect fifth. So it does take some getting used to. When you look at other bassists, that's not what they're doing. I can't afford to buy an extension, but I want those advantages as if I had one. So here we are. 3 favorite songs of mine are Go Tell Aunt Rhody, because the tessitura only goes to La in D major. The other pieces, if we're going to match the key to what the cellists do, we're going to have to do shifting. But let's start with Go Tell Aunt Rhody because it's such a great song, or Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. I like Go Tell Aunt Rhody because sometimes kids almost feel, how would I put it, they feel a little like, oh, you're babying me, I'm playing Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, bummer. So I don't want people to feel that way, but it's great sometimes, like in cello, just let that thumb relax, but you're on the pinky side of your hand, so start on F sharp. And find the note to your open string. And then be sure I did the orientation of that pinky, that balance. Now, unfortunately, the G you're going to have to shift for. But it is exactly like it would be on the D string. Up a half step, and 2 is where 4 usually goes. You can do a 4-4 shift or a 2-4 shift. Interestingly enough, I hadn't thought of this before. You could play Go Tell Aunt Rhody starting here on that lowest string. I don't know if I've ever done that. There's something so exciting about playing. You're like the contrabassoon. It's so low. Nobody sings this low. It's hilarious. Shift for the G. Now put the 2 on the F sharp so you can do the G. It's a great way to get to know that funny Scordatura. And really, you are only playing 1 finger at a time. I shifted and I felt the distance of in between the notes. So now I'm going to do that same thing an octave higher, and you can play the low one with the octave higher if you do some clever rewinding of this sampling on YouTube. So here we are in this same key. Again, I'm on my pinky balance of the hand and things open up, kind of like a very fluid, slinky ballerina thing. And I can feel that on the bow too. I have to admit, I sometimes do a little bit of that getting stuck in my pronation, and I can put my thumb here, option. If my hands and thumb are getting tired, that's a great thing to do. And feel that connection of hand is an extension of the forearm. Either way for the thumb placement. Ready and go. Again, I don't have to do those adjustments. If I want more sound, I can kind of feel how my torso and the arm wanting to come in toward my body, oh, but shucks, the bass got in the way. If the bass weren't here, my arms would naturally swing toward my torso. There's a beautiful harmony that does what's called horn fifths. Do, mi, re, there's the fifth. Do, re, mi. And that gets used a lot. You'd hear that in natural French horns when you listen to symphonies before the French horn has the valves. You get those really cool horn fifth harmonies. So you can have your F sharp with the Scordatura D. And the important thing is when you have open strings, you don't know where your first fingered note is. Always find your first fingered note. Ya, bum, bum, ready, go. Bum, bum, bum. You always find it from your last fingered note. That was just a whole bunch of fours. I allow my thumb to relax behind the neck so I don't lose my reference point. Instead of the 4, I could shift to where 4 goes. So I showed you both options. All I did is I happened to do 2 where 4 was. And then I knew I could have done a 4-4 shift, or I could shift through to a 2. The fingering doesn't matter. What matters is the sense of how far am I moving and how am I making those relationships happen. The 3 pieces I talked about were Go, Talent, Rhody. Now let's say I want to do it more lyrically and more quickly because I've practiced it slowly now. Let's take the whole thing and do faster tempos, which is a lot of what I like to do in practicing. Do it slowly, make sure it's comfortable. I don't want to lose anything for going faster. So let's start. Ba, beep, bum, ba, ba. The old gray goose being dead, it's sad. Ba, ba, bum, ba, go. I did it wrong. Yay, I made a mistake, and I can show you because I had that moment where I forgot I'm not playing a cello. So here we are. Well, that wouldn't be cello like anyway. So here's the yum bum bum ba. So that's going to be the trick. Is it's not going to be the same fingering for the upper octave as it is for the low one. So I have to go, oh yeah, put my Scordatura brain on. And leave the mistake in there because everybody makes mistakes. And I loved it when my teachers showed me that. It helped me feel a little less like, oh, okay, they've made mistakes. They started from the beginning at some point. There's still hope. So falling in toward me, everything flexible. And maybe I should be more legato. Let's try that this time. Ba, yum, bum, ba, and wow, that's tricky on these big fat strings. play as legato as we can so we don't sound like a bunch of big fat cows at the bottom of the strings. We don't want to do that. No, no, no. Ba, ba, bum, ba, and... Nice, a little retard at the end gives just a feeling of relaxing. And now it's not tuned the same, and I got the open G. At least there's no shifting here. And then go. As you watch other bass teachers, you might see more stability here. If it's feeling at all uncomfortable, you can move your fingers around to find the comfort. Remember, it's sending energy to the string. Staccato is a great way to start, slower and staccato, and then add the legato. Your mind and your body are going to tell you what you need for slower practice. Now, onward. I'm thinking perpetual motion would be really cool to do. It's staccato. If you go to the 2, you can do the G on the singing, same string. Now D. Here you can go to that A, straight across from the D. Let's start from that B section. I did a half step shift, now I move back up. Does that make sense? That's one possibility. Another thing is maybe not the best choice. That was my exploratory. I like to do an exploratory time. And now let's just maybe not too much faster. Let's do a staccato. Don't press with your thumb. Reminding myself that. Let's see. That would be a good tempo. Let's try that and see how it goes. I'll do that last choice fingering for that shifty section. Right? Fingering. Oh my gosh, that was a better fingering. But I lost my fluidity. But sometimes you have to stop because you notice something. Let's take that section twice. was here, I just had to go a half step back for that F sharp. See, if I do the open, it sticks out. F sharp to E. And you just have to be careful as you speed up the tempo. Don't go so fast that you make mistakes, like I did. Showing you what not to do. Let's try it a little faster. 1 and 2 and ready and. Excellent. And the final piece I'm going to do is the French folk song. Just be sure you subdivide the 3 quarter notes in the dotted half note. So, and staccato first and then legato, slower than fast. And we're going to do that straight across D to A thing again here. Even though it's lyrical, starting staccato is a great thing to do. Maybe just stand up, take a break. A good thing to do, like your ball and socket motion of your right arm and the ball and socket motion of your left arm. You know, if you got something to hold, I happen to here, or not. That ball and socket motion of the leg is really good to release, just like swimmers. You can see them shake themselves out. Make sure you take enough breaks. If you're someone who doesn't tend to take breaks, set a timer to make yourself take a break. I am really feeling and thinking about all of my ergonomic things as I'm practicing. So I do sit too long sometimes. And when I'm with students, they sit too long. And that's another good thing to remind myself to be sure I give the breaks that I know they need. But I'm trying to fit as much as I can into a lesson. Kind of fun, that harmonic. I drop in and I mirror that. There's an across the body transfer thing, which I talk a lot about in my cello videos too. So we're going to do bum, 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 nice staccato, and you're sometimes going to do a major second between 1 and 2, but you're only on 1 finger at a time, and there's a relaxed hand shape in both cello and bass from my perspective as a cellist. Go. That tempo, ready, and. And then just keep going down the scale. I feel that pocket of the pulse. So let's do that again from that ascending part. Once, twice, third time change to the higher note. 1, 2, go. And each time I can start a little less, use the open G or not. So I could do that and shift over to the G string, or I can do it this time, use open G. Oh, my vibrato's too fast. That wasn't in tune. That's another option. Did you see what I did? My hand balance to that was pretty dramatic. From that higher place on D and C sharp to just right away to first. Today, this fingering feels better. I will do 4 way. I think I often finger it that way instead. And then I'll just do one. Hey, I like that. Now let's do the ending of French folk song. And and even in the staccato, louder, softer, softer, bum, bum, bum. I can do all kinds of shaping, and it's good to experiment with that. It's good to practice to understand things better, and also practice performing, recording yourself, and not being too hard on yourself, but certainly not ignoring things. Nobody's gotten better out of ignorance and ignoring, that's for sure. So here we are from the beginning, a little more legato, maybe a slight brighter tempo. One and string. It's a little weird. It would be a lot of that 4-2-1 thing. I think that would be worth the adventure. So we 0-1-4. It will always have to be this. Cello strings, D-A on the cello, like unbelievably lower. Those three can give you a lot of good things to work on. With the perpetual motion, it's nice to work on those 16ths. So here it is. Faster, you have to be more efficient. I can't always think a good thought to say and play. Let's start on the first one of the double bows. Oh, that's the better fingering. Open G is fine. For me, that's slow practice. For you, that might not be slow practice. We have to have it be what we need, not what our best friend next to us or that other person next to us can do. It has to be what we can do, and some days you might be able to play better than others, then you just backpedal and hopefully enjoy the process. Make sure you enjoy it. Don't get too grumpy on yourself. Look at some of my cello videos, and I talk about that too, especially the most recent ones. Okay, here I am, and let's try that. Let's see. That's a very, oh gosh, you can tell I need to go swimming. It's way too jiggly in my upper arms. My triceps are a disaster from are you really in shape? No, I've got the jiggliest triceps on the planet because I need to swim and do better exercising. But that is such a fundamental bow stroke of orchestra playing. 1, 2, ready, and See, I chose the bad fingering. Okay, because whatever you get is a habit. I'm just going to go down on that B section. I'm not going to do the other fancy fingerings. That will have its place. This isn't the place. I just gave you a teachable moment. Let's try it from the beginning. Hopefully I can get through the whole thing without messing up. I feel both feet. I practice the bow stroke. On a few notes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, ready, and I know you're supposed to end on da 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 da. Ideally, I should have played that smoothly. It was smoother. Ideally, I should do that at that same tempo before I increase the tempo. But because this is a teaching video, and I do know how to do that, I'm trusting you to do that on your own. Let's see. I breathe in, I breathe out my scapula. Breathe in, breathe out. I was holding in my scapula. That is always a bad idea. There are cello videos that deal with that. I don't have to brace myself to play. Fours. Get myself ready. 1, 2, ready, and from that E, I should be finding my D. That's been a weakness all along, and I recognized it now. Make sure I'm well balanced over it. See? I wish I were a better example earlier, but I'm just going to keep doing it again. 1, 2, ready, and I like that G first. 1, 2, ready, and So I'm noticing when I'm practicing, I'm noticing some different balance things that I'm not anticipating where I'm going. I do better when I let my singing voice propel me forward. So I'm going to try it one last time here, and I really hope I can do it. I'm tired, I'm hungry, it's been a long day, but I can't make excuses because most of the rehearsals are at night. And the best thing I can do and train myself is to have my singing lead and let everything else be trained to follow singing, so I can sing up and down and join the singing that I hear in my ensemble. Not a bad thing to share with you. Sorry I'm sharing some, not bad, but certainly not my best grade playing. So here we are. That's good tempo. 1, 2, ready, and I'm going to play it better, because sometimes that's all you're going to get out of this day's practice. And I, to be honest, in cello and on bass, I'm made to play things a lot higher than the level where I am. And so some of those pieces that I could learn in the middle of that, I haven't had the opportunity to learn. But this can give you a lot of good stuff to start with as we're exploring bass together, maybe as a cellist learning bass, or as a bassist putting up with the cellist teaching bass. Take care, thanks so much. Oh gosh, that's a long video. Oh, alrighty. Oh.